Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining me for this Reddit relationship story. So let's go ahead and get into this. It says, a 30-year-old female, my 30-year-old male or partner keeps commenting on what I eat with a magnifying glass. How do I go about telling him how this makes me feel? I'm already getting upset about this, but we're going to finish reading this, y'all. We're going to finish reading. My significant other and I have been married for almost 5 months. He had made some weight-based comments in the past that were extremely hurtful. We talked about it and he said that he would stop. For context, I have autoimmune condition and my metabolism has changed since the onset of the disease. I am not fat by any means, but I have a slimmer waist and thicker thighs and butt. While my significant other has stopped with the weight comments, when I met you, you were much thinner, I'm not attracted to fat women, etc. Wow. Okay. He now picks on me if I ever have something remotely unhealthy. I follow a high fiber, high protein diet 90% of the time. Sometimes I have a cup of cocoa. It's a comforting thing, but I do not gorge on it. Last night I made a nice healthy meal for the two of us. I had worked 2 jobs that day and decided to have a cup of cocoa after dinner and relax. Significant other doesn't say thank you for the dinner and jumps right to this. You're having that again? That will ruin everything you did at the gym. You need to stop drinking that stuff. Otherwise, I never want to hear you say I feel sick ever again. Wow. He ain't supportive at all. I can tell that. Okay. I'll finish. Maybe his intention was good, but immediately my mind jumped back to the weight comments from last year that utterly sucked. Yesterday, my sister had actually commented how I look great. I've lost 6 pounds so far since I saw a dietitian in early March. And now I'm feeling disgusting again. I've never been fat, I'm not skinny, and I could afford to lose some weight, hence why I'm diligent about the gym and eating clean. But having a cup of cocoa for a night and calculating it into my daily calorie count is not going to detail that. I also pointed out that he drinks a ton of beer, eats McDonald's and BK frequently, to which he replied, well, I'm healthy and it's different for me, and he's super thin. I can't help but feel hurt and discouraged. I'm sure. When I tried to convey my feelings calmly, I got called insensitive, and I got called sensitive and childish. I just really don't think a cup of cocoa warranted this response. But I'm curious what people think and how I should go about calmly today talking to him about it. His way of resolving things is actually like they've never happened, but I think since this has come up at various points, I can't let it go. And no, sister, you cannot let it go. Yes, definitely talk to him about it, but you got to know that I'm sure this is why you're asking this question, because you're doubting or questioning whether you need to stay with this person, is what it sounds like to me. If somebody keeps putting you down and putting you down and putting you down, I understand you have an illness, and I understand that you drink cocoa and you're eating 90% clean almost every day. Then there is no big deal unless this cocoa is affecting your health in some type of way. You didn't say that, so I don't know. But that still does not give him the right to keep putting you down about everything that's going into your mouth. Even if you wanted to gorge on McDonald's and Burger King all day, okay, well, do so. That's your choice. The same thing he's doing. Illness or not. At some point, he's going to have an illness if you keep doing the same thing he's doing. McDonald's and Burger King is not healthy at all. That gives everybody diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all those types of things. Especially if they're eating it every single day or several days a week. Like I said, sister, you don't have to put up with this guy doing this to you all the time. And then it was happening before your marriage as well. In my mind, I'm like, well, I wouldn't marry somebody like that. But I know everybody has a different way that they want to love and who they want to love and whatever reason y'all got married, that kind of thing. But this cannot keep happening to you, because you are going to develop. If it sounds like you already have some confidence and some low self-esteem issues already. It could be mostly stemming from this, and it could be from something else or combined as well. And it sounds like this has definitely been traumatic for you. Talking to him about it, and like you said, calmly and in a loving fashion today, yet or whatever day you do it, is definitely a good thing to do. Because I would not want to be in your shoes. I've been in your shoes with different people. A past partner, just everything was nitpicking, every single thing. The people I knew, my family, this and that, everything. And I had to let that go after a while, because nothing was changing, and he wasn't here when I was saying, I guess, or didn't care about it every time we had a conversation. I had to let that go. I'm not telling you what to do in this situation. You can let it go or you can stay. But if you stay, just know that you're going to have to either learn how to deal with these comments, hope that he stops, and you cannot control nobody else. So I don't know how he's going to stop unless he wants to stop. Obviously, that's not what he's wanting to do. Because you can't control what he talks about and what he doesn't talk about. He can talk about this all day long, but if you're going to stay, you have to learn how to figure out how to deal with this, deal with his words and how you're going to respond to them. And it sounds like you've been getting down and depressed and that kind of thing about this, about what he's saying. You have to, if you're going to stay, you're going to have to figure out how to deal with with the comments he's making, and not let it affect you too much or at all. Now, I know that's easier said than done. I don't know if it can be done at all. 100%, I doubt that it can, but you can definitely try. But like I said, still having that conversation is the first thing. It sounds like you've already had this conversation many a times, and he kept saying he's going to change, and he hasn't already. Maybe you need to ask him, why does he keep making these comments? I understand you have an health issue, that kind of thing. Ask him. Just try to figure out what else is going on behind these comments, and let him know how it's making you feel. He's putting you down. It's causing your self-esteem to lower, and that could be what he wants. I don't know either. I don't know him. I don't know you. But some people do get off on controlling their partner to a certain extent. Everything they eat is a problem. Everything they do is a problem. Everybody they talk to is a problem. Trying to control them. Because that's not what they want to see for their partner. Not knowing that they can't control their partner either. Nobody can control anybody. All you can do is have conversations. I hope that they, of course, respect your boundaries. That's all you can do. Let me get some water, y'all. Like I said, you already mentioned that you're going to try to talk to him, that it's the best thing to do. But you got to know that if you don't get the results that you want, you have to decide whether you're going to leave this relationship or stay. And if you stay, how you're going to deal with all the comments that he's making. And what kind of boundaries you're going to set around them. Meaning that every time he make a comment, do you leave and go stay with somebody for a week? Or do you tell him right then, do not say that stuff to me, you stop saying this, or get out this house? What are you going to tell him? If you stay, you're going to have to figure out all these things. Because otherwise, he's going to keep doing it and keep doing it until he can't do it no more, until y'all separate. Or divorce, or whichever the case is going to be. Otherwise, he's not going to stop. But you're going to have to stand your ground with these things. If you're going to stay in this relationship, like I said, you're going to have to stand your ground and build yourself up to the point where these comments do not hurt you no more. And you can go about your damn business and do whatever it is you were about to do. But also letting him know that he's not going to keep disrespecting you like this every single time that it happens. Now, whether you're that kind of person, I do not know. But you're going to have to become that kind of person if you're going to stay in this kind of relationship with him constantly putting you down about your food and what's going into your mouth. So like I said, that's what I have about this. And it sounds, he said, you can't let it go, and it always goes back to the past comments he's made. That's trauma. That's going to happen. But you have to learn how to deal with it as well. Because that means if anybody else besides him come making some comments about you, then it's going to take you back to those same traumatic points. It's going to make you feel down and low again. I don't know if you have a therapist or somebody that you can talk to about these things to help build you up to a certain extent so that you can, of course, not let these comments affect you too much at all. They're probably still going to affect you. I don't know anybody 100% that don't let anything affect them. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe it's possible. I don't know. All my 49 years on this earth and 26 of these years working as a social worker and a life coach, I haven't seen that 100% take place yet. But I know that you can lessen the effects of somebody's comments or behaviors towards you. I know that you can do that. Now, 100%, I don't know. I haven't seen that. But you definitely can learn to build yourself up so that these things don't affect you too much. Like I said, you may have to seek a third party, a therapist, a coach, somebody to help you with this. Because like I said, you're going to have to make a decision whether you stand in this marriage or whether you leave in this marriage. And if you stand, you're going to have, like I said, build yourself up and learn how to deal with these comments and learn how to snap back at him too. Let him know that he ain't finna talk to you like this. So y'all, that's all I got to say about this situation. Like I said, definitely this is one of the Reddit relationship stories. Like I said, definitely I feel for this young lady because like I said, I've been in a relationship like this before as well. But similar to this, not like this, but similar to this. But similar things kind of going on, being nitpicked about and all these types of things. That is never a fun relationship to be in at all. Because you're walking on eggshells the whole entire time. Trying to please this person that you're with when you're leaving yourself out. Not even caring about yourself, you're caring about that person more instead of dealing with yourself first. And unfortunately, that's how the human mind seems to work. We look at the negative first and to stay on that and harp on that, but we have to learn how to come back to ourselves and learn how to deal with ourselves too. To build ourselves up more so these things will not bother us. To work through all this trauma and all these words and all this stuff that has happened so that we can start to heal and move forward and not let these things trigger us so badly. That does not happen in a day at all. It takes work. It takes years of work. But I know that this young lady, I'm pretty sure she can do that. I'm sure of that. I've done it too. I'm sure some of y'all have done it as well. Now, I said it takes years. It doesn't take years, but it depends on what you're working on. I went through sexual abuse and my parents on drugs and all these kind of things for decades. My father beat my mom. That's why it took me years. Other folks, with situations like this, it could take you a few months, a few weeks to a few months. Depends on what kind of mask that you got going into this. But like I said, I hope that she gets the resolution that she's wanting behind the conversation that she's going to have with him. And like I said, if not, she's going to have to make other choices in that relationship to build better boundaries and deal with herself and the feelings that she have around this. Or the other option, there's no other option but to leave. There is no other options unless he wants to go to counseling with you, a couples counseling. That can be an option as well. So like I said, again, I'm going to get off here. I think I said that 4 or 5 times, but this is Tonetta Clay. Like I said, your life coach, your relationship coach here. Like I said, I definitely want to bring this video, and your social worker too. Like I said, I've been in the field it'll be 27 years in May 2026. And I'm doing this in March. So I guess in a few months it'll be 27 years in the field. But like I said, I definitely have a lot of expertise behind me. I guess expertise and personal stories and unfortunately traumas and dramas behind me as well. So if you like what you're hearing today in this Reddit story, and then you heard something that can of course help you in your relationship, make sure that you of course subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive all the videos that upload from this point here on out. If you ain't seen those in the past, go check them out too. So with that, y'all, this is your girl Tonetta. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see y'all in the next video.